Okay, hey everybody, my name is Ereina,
And I'm Gaby Esparza.
and today we're going to be discussing lean methodology. So, if you're like me, I know the golden question going on in your mind is what is lean? Lean methodology is a set of guiding principles rather than prescriptive practices that focuses on delivering value from a customer's perspective by creating continuous improvements and efficiency through waste elimination. It seeks to eliminate any waste of time, effort, or money by cutting down on business processes that don't create value. The goal of lean is to optimize the production system to create value through elimination of unnecessary processes. Now, that's all good and well, but that's kind of confusing. So, the way that I think about it is I think of lean as a diet. You cut out the junk and you adapt to being more flexible in what you consume. And in turn, you slim down and create a more lean physique. Similarly, if a business ensures that waste is eliminated, it improves the quality of the product, production time, and trims down on costs. It's for that reason that lean is one of the most popular agile methods.
And so now let's get into the history of lean. There are conflicting arguments as to when lean was created. Some say it was Venice in 1450, some say it was Eli Whitney in the 1880s with the cotton gin, others say it was Henry Ford in the early 1900s. But it can be agreed upon that lean as we know it today has its root in the 1940s in Japanese car manufacturing. I will go into that in just a minute. Next, in the 1980s, came the American automobile makers copying the practices that had been in Japan for nearly 40 years. Then, in 1988, the term lean was coined by John Krafik and was then defined by James Womack and Daniel Jones in 1996 in their book Lean Thinking. Then, in the 2000s, lean found its way into software development. Although it was not popular when it was first created, it gained a lot of popularity in the coming years. And so now about the Toyota production system. It was created in 1948 by Tachi Ono, and this system was tweaked until it was perfected until 1975. His idea was to optimize the entire production system. He wanted to reduce waste and manufacture in a sustainable manner. It was also called just-in-time production. If you finished ahead of schedule, that was time that you could have spent making the car better. Next are two Japanese terms that the Toyota production system is rooted in. Kaizen means change for the better or continuous improvement. It is always worth it to change something to make it better, even if it will slow down the process. This is considered a building block of the lean methodology. Jidoka means automation with a human touch. At Toyota, every design, process, and component is hand-built first before being given off to automation. So when a problem occurs, production stops to prevent defective products from being produced. In the mid-2000s, the Ford factory in Michigan stopped production lines 2 times per week. At the same time, the Toyota factory in Kentucky stopped production 2,000 times a week. And so here are the 5 lean principles. The first being to identify value. This is determining what the customer wants. The customer may not know what they want right away, so it is important to discover what they value through surveys, interviews, and demographic information. This is where you really discover what they want, how they want it delivered, and how much they will pay for it. The second principle is to map the value stream. This is where you use the value found in the previous step to list the activities that need to be done in order to reach that goal. Things that don't have or add value are considered waste. This waste can be broken down into non-value added but necessary or non-value added and unnecessary. Getting rid of unnecessary steps ensures that it is done on time, all while reducing cost. The third step is to create flow. Make sure that the remaining activities after taking out the waste from the previous step run smoothly together. This will reduce interruptions and delays. You could do this by breaking down steps, leveling workload, or having employees be multi-skilled and have the ability to be adaptive. The fourth step is to establish pull. This means creating what is needed when it is needed. A pull system is characterized by work entering the workflow only when there is demand for it. No work item is being started before there is an actual need for it. The focus is on delivering what the customer wants when they want it. This way, the pull system avoids building up waste during your project and supports efficiency and predictability. The final step is to seek perfection. This is a very important step. This is what makes lean a continuous improvement process. This is where you reflect on the project. See what worked and how you can transfer that into future projects. You can also look at what didn't work and begin thinking of ways of how to improve that.
All right, so now I'll get into the structure of lean. Like Gabby said, the structure of lean operates on a pull flow, meaning nothing is made before it is needed, and members get a validation before moving on to the next step. The process starts with build. We build products based on ideas. No, that doesn't mean that we start ideas for a product that we think people might want. Instead, we create order and not chaos by focusing on eliminating uncertainty and doing our homework on the market. After we build a product people want to pay us for, we measure. Measuring involves the rigorous testing of a product before it hits the market to weed out any potential pain points. And this is a collaborative effort. Management calls on all levels of employees to identify areas of improvement across all processes. Then finally, we move on to the final step, which is learn. This is a critical part of the process that guides us to what we do next. It's from looking at our research and addressing any concerns or pain points in the prior steps that we decide either to pivot from or preserve the project. Now, let me touch on a little bit of the strengths. For one, lean eliminates the unnecessary movement of people and processes that does not add value. This translates to saving time and resources and also cuts down on exerting effort in the wrong places. When it boils down to it, the customer and the employee both reap benefits. The employees play a more active role in producing quality products, and customers enjoy a perfected product with fewer designs and bugs that make their experience bad. It produces fast variables because it addresses problems as they come up, and it is not based on assumption. AKA, you're not exerting effort in a product that has no value to the customer. Lean is unique because employees are actually the ones who point out pain points as they see them. While product development is based on research, analytics, and careful study of the market, employees play a critical role in seeing something and doing something. Finally, lean is acclaimed for its ability to produce vast quantities of products because it eliminates factors that might eat away at valuable time, resources, and money. Once a company establishes what is the most efficient way to improve on something, it is able to ramp up production. Now, some of the weaknesses. Um, for one, on the flip side, it's dependent on everyone in the team to work on pulling their weight and to be an actively engaged participant in the process from start to finish. The downside is that it can be very easy to lose focus since various tasks and continuous improvements are being made. And it requires a significant amount of documentation to track new findings and insights. And if done poorly, it can hinder your team from making good progress. Now, some of the industries using lean are the automobile industry, software and development, and manufacturing, and as well as the healthcare industry. In the automobile industry, employees are divided into groups to learn a few effective techniques and processes, rather than learning to put together every piece in a product. This cuts down on confusion and helps individuals become mini experts in their field, which helps them point out potential flaws before the product even reaches the public. Now, software development and manufacturing, we can see this through the continuous improvements upon gathering insights from customers, research, and employees to help improve upon past designs. And finally, healthcare systems adopt lean principles to reduce waste while improving quality care. By applying extensive clinical data measurements and routine care, the healthcare system can identify evidence-based practices and protocols. And from this data, we can add back into this continuous learning loop to help improve protocols, reduce waste, lower costs, and improve patient outcomes.
Okay, and here are some examples of how lean has been used in the real world. Obviously, we've already discussed Toyota and how they use lean methodology in their manufacturing every single day. They want to eliminate waste and minimize defective products that consumers just don't have a use for. Next is Nike. When they implemented lean methodology, they saw less waste and higher consumer value. They also claim that once implementing these practices, they were able to reduce poor labor practices overseas by 15% because the laborer was given a higher value than before. Intel has also used lean practices in their manufacturing. They realized that a higher quantity of a lower quality product was not the answer. They needed to reduce waste and have a better quality control. With these new practices, they were able to reduce manufacturing time of microchips from over 3 months to just around 10 days. And then, as she just touched on, healthcare also implements lean practices. Both private companies and even states use lean methodology. With these practices, they want to improve service quality, lower costs, and increase patient satisfaction. Intrepid USA, a Dallas-based healthcare company, has trained over 500 of their employees on lean practices. McLaurin Greater Lansing has its entire staff trained in lean practices in order for them to better serve their clientele. And the whole state of Nebraska has even adopted these practices to streamline their operations, improve services, and have the ability to save their taxpayers money. And then also, all of these just want to reduce waste and increase satisfaction. And lastly, here is how lean connects to other methods. Scrum uses sprint cycles to get the job done. Unlike Scrum, lean is not time-bound. It is a mindset or philosophy, while Scrum is a framework. Both Scrum and lean are highly collaborative and don't expect perfection from the beginning. Combining Scrum and lean can be good for eliminating waste in specific areas like partial work done and extra features. DSDM, or the Dynamic System Development Method, looks at the entire project lifecycle. Unlike Scrum, DSDM is also a framework. Also like Scrum, it is time-driven, but unlike lean, it can be very costly. Lastly is Kanban. It is a scheduling system that was created for lean manufacturing, but it has come a long way since then. This strives for optimization and not elimination. It is a system that can be used to implement the lean mindset outside of manufacturing. Its highly visual workflow management method gives lean teams the ability to achieve continuous improvement and respect for people, which is what lean teams strive for every day. And here are our resources, and thank you for listening.